Stop punishing yourself with success. Why your most profitable era might begin when you stop being so hard. Welcome to Soft Girl Era, the sacred space where strong Black women unlearn survival, rediscover softness, and reclaim the joy, rest, and freedom they deserve without guilt, without apology, and without explanation. I'm your host, LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French. I'm your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft, and loving every second of it. Today, I want to share with you insights from a conversation that shook me to my core. A conversation with LaToya Alford, a visionary entrepreneur, strategist, and living testament to the power of redemption, resilience, and radical softness. LaToya is building multiple businesses centered on wellness, business development, and helping people rewrite their stories, no matter how broken the earlier chapters felt. She's someone who refuses to let her past define her future, and she's using every lesson, every scar, every setback as fuel to help others step into their own soft girl era, grounded in healing, boundaries, and intentional growth. Her work is reshaping how we think about success, especially for Black women who have been taught that rest is weakness and softness is surrender. What I'm about to share with you today comes directly from our conversation, and I promise you, it will challenge everything you thought you knew about strength, softness, and what it really takes to build a legacy while still healing. Let's start here. We've been taught, especially as Black women, that softness is weakness. That if you're not grinding, hustling, proving, performing, you're falling behind. That rest is a luxury you can't afford, that boundaries are selfish, that healing is something you do after you've made it, not while you're building. But what if I told you that your most profitable, scalable, powerful era might not arrive when you get more hardcore, but when you stop letting shame and survival mode run your business and start letting healed discipline, boundaries, and collaboration guide it? LaToya shared something with me that stopped me in my tracks. She said, your soft girl era is not about escape or aesthetic. It's about choosing strategic softness as a radical, disciplined way to build power, wealth, and healing while carrying very real trauma, responsibilities, and past mistakes. Let that sit for a moment. Strategic softness, not softness as surrender, not softness as giving up, but softness as a weapon, softness as a business strategy, softness as the evolution of hustle. Because here's the truth: softness, when rooted in boundaries, systems, and clarity, can become one of the most powerful tools for scaling a business and reclaiming your life. It's not the opposite of hustle, it's the maturation of hustle. It's saying, I can be healing and still be building. I can be tender and still be a boss. I can have a past and still have a future. And for Black professionals carrying legal baggage, financial scars, or loved ones in incarceration, soft girl era is not delusion. It's choosing a regulated nervous system, intentional business strategy, and community support over constant self punishment. Now, let me take you into what's happening right now all across the country, because this isn't just theory, this is a movement. After massive federal and corporate layoffs, thousands of Black women in the US left traditional employment, many with employment gaps, financial strain, and complicated personal histories, and began building businesses instead of returning to the workforce. This collective shift has been described as Black women moving into an exit economy, where they exit unstable employment and create enterprises that reflect their values, needs, and long term legacy. These women face sudden loss of income and benefits, difficulty re entering the workforce due to bias, past records, or gaps in employment, limited access to capital and business networks, emotional burnout, shame, and fear of starting over, often while carrying family responsibilities and prior financial mistakes. But instead of collapsing under the weight of it all, they chose intention over urgency. They chose systems over survival. They chose legacy over paycheck replacement. Think about that for a moment. These women didn't just survive, they transformed their pain into platforms. They turned their setbacks into systems. They refused to let the worst chapter of their lives become their entire story. And here's what happened: Black women have become one of the most dynamic entrepreneurial groups in the nation, with Black women owned employer businesses increasing by 13% from 2024 to 2025, far outpacing the 4.4% increase for all women owned firms. Many have transitioned from survival mode side hustles to structured enterprises with systems, pricing strategies, and financial planning, allowing them to employ others and create community impact. Their businesses often center healing, coaching, wellness, and professional development, transforming personal pain points into platforms for collective resilience and economic power. This is what happens when you stop punishing yourself with overwork and start building from a place of healed intention. Now, let me tell you about Dr. Rosie Thomas, because her work is the blueprint for what LaToya and so many of us are learning to do. Dr. Rosie works specifically with Black women who are starting or rebuilding businesses after major life disruptions, layoffs, divorce, debt, or other setbacks, and helps them turn urgent survival energy into intentional, strategic entrepreneurship. Many of her clients arrive with financial trauma, bad credit, underpriced services, fear of rejection from lenders, and a tendency to treat their business like a hustle instead of an asset. They carry emotional weight, shame over past mistakes, exhaustion from caregiving roles, and deep anxiety about money that makes them reactive rather than strategic. Dr. Rosie's core mantra is this: let the urgency push you, but do not let it rush you. Read that again. Let the urgency push you, but do not let it rush you. She urges Black women to slow down enough to build with intention, not just desperation. She teaches clients to start with their own numbers before seeking external funding, understanding revenue, expenses, personal credit, and realistic capacity. She directs them to community development financial institutions, CDFIs, that are designed to serve underserved entrepreneurs, allowing Black women to access capital in spaces built for them. She insists on correct pricing as the first funding strategy because underpricing is where many Black women quietly undermine their own power. She emphasizes systems from day one: bookkeeping, tax planning, and paying themselves consistently to shift mindset from employee slash hustler to owner. And the results? Clients move from scattered, reactive side hustles to structured, viable businesses with clear financial foundations. Many transition out of survival only cycles, paying themselves regularly, preparing for taxes, and using profit to reinvest rather than just patching emergencies. Dr. Rosie's approach helps Black women detach their self worth from past financial mistakes and begin viewing their businesses as vehicles for redemption and long term wealth. Her work proves that healing your relationship with money and pace is a core part of building a business, not a luxury. Now, let me share one more story because this one will show you what happens when you stop trying to do it all alone. Jataka Eddy, a strategist and organizer, built a movement of over 44,000 Black women through her work with the organization Win with Black Women. She navigated career transitions, bias, and the emotional strain of constantly advocating within systems that were not designed for her or her community. A layoff in her professional journey could have been interpreted as failure, triggering fear, doubt, and questions about her future. But Jataka reframed her layoff not as an end, but as redirection towards something bigger, leaning into her purpose as a movement builder rather than chasing traditional career stability. And here's the part that gets me every single time: her community literally became her first investors. People from her hometown pooled money so she could attend a conference that shifted the trajectory of her work. Let me say that again. Her community pooled money. They invested in her when traditional systems wouldn't. They saw her potential when gatekeepers didn't. They believed in her vision when she was still finding the words to articulate it. She focused on quiet, consistent organizing long before the movement became visible, building relationships, trust, and infrastructure that could hold thousands of Black women. Today, a movement of 44,000 plus Black women is engaged around advocacy, civic power, and collective action. Her work exemplifies how one woman's journey through disappointment and redirection can become a catalyst for thousands of others to step into their power. Her story affirms that a setback like a layoff can be sacred redirection, pushing you toward purpose that is larger than any job title. It models how Black women can build platforms, not just businesses, spaces where healing, advocacy, and economic empowerment intersect. So, what does all of this mean for you? LaToya left me with three key insights, and I want you to hold these close. First, your past is context, not a cage. Legal mistakes, layoffs, broken relationships, or supporting a loved one through incarceration do not disqualify you from leadership or entrepreneurship. They can become your deepest source of clarity, empathy, and purpose if you are willing to do the healing work and build with intention. The work is to stop letting the worst chapter of your life be your entire brand and instead allow your growth to become your strategy. Second, healing and business growth are parallel journeys, not competing priorities. Research on women entrepreneurs shows that unmanaged stress, lack of boundaries, and chronic survival mode thinking are major reasons women stall at the scaling stage. Not because of a lack of talent or ideas, but because they don't have aligned support systems and patient structures to grow. For Black women in particular, softness can mean regulating your nervous system, saying no to misaligned clients, building systems from day one, and refusing to punish yourself with overwork as a way to earn forgiveness for your past. You can be navigating grief, shame, or complicated love while still building something sustainable if you build systems, seek support, and stop treating your business like a punishment and start treating it like a vehicle for your liberation. Third, you are not meant to build alone. Collaboration is your scaling strategy, not a last resort. Studies on Black women entrepreneurs show record numbers of new businesses, but a persistent scaling gap because of unequal access to capital, limited networks, and lack of integrated support. One powerful shift is moving from solo survival mode to strategic collaboration, teaming agreements to win contracts together, shared back office operations, and business ecosystems that allow Black women to build legacies that can outlast any single employer or season of struggle. Your soft girl era can be the season where you finally stop trying to prove you can do everything alone and instead learn how to build with others. So your healing and your business can both be held by community. So here's what I need you to do, not tomorrow, not next week, today. I want you to write a one-page redeemed vision for your life and business. Name the chapters you're no longer allowing to define you: legal mistakes, layoffs, broken relationships, family incarceration, past failures. Write them down, look at them, and then release them. Describe in present tense the version of you who leads from healing instead of shame. What does she look like? How does she move? What does she prioritize? What does she refuse to tolerate? Then list three concrete moves you will make in your business that reflect that healed leader. One systems decision. Maybe it's finally setting up bookkeeping. Maybe it's creating boundaries around your time. Maybe it's building a workflow that doesn't require you to be available 24/7. One pricing or money decision. Stop undercharging, create a budget, pay yourself first. Treat your business like the asset it is. One collaboration decision. Reach out to another Black entrepreneur for a teaming agreement or accountability partnership. Stop building in isolation. Then, and this is the most important part, commit to sharing that vision with at least one trusted person so your story doesn't have to evolve in isolation. Because here's the truth that nobody tells you: your story isn't over. Every single day you wake up is another opportunity to make a different choice, build a different future, and become the person you were created to be. The world doesn't need you to keep proving you can survive hard things. The world needs you to show us what happens when a healed Black woman builds with intention, boundaries, and community. The world needs you to stop punishing yourself with success and start building softly but seriously. So I'm asking you today, if you stopped letting the worst chapter of your life manage your decisions and instead let the healed, wiser version of you sit in the CEO chair, what would you build differently in the next 12 months? And who would you allow to support you along the way? Your soft girl era is waiting. And it's not about being less, it's about finally being free.